Hi guys, so sorry about the kind of quick ad hocness of this video, and I have just come out of the shower, but I wanted to film this because I don't think I'm going to have time tomorrow to do it. So today is Wednesday, tomorrow I have my scan. I will be 8 weeks and 2 days, and obviously we'll know what's going on. And I just wanted to talk about kind of I suppose you could call this my 8-week update, what's been happening. So this is going to seem really negative to some people, but I've convinced myself, like I've 100% convinced myself that this pregnancy is not going to happen or that it's not viable. And I don't know why that is, and it's really bugging me why I feel this way. I think it's because I've read a lot of cases, and I shouldn't have done, but I have, of people who've had slow rising hormones. And I think in 5 of the stories I had read, they had gone on to miscarry at around 12 weeks because of a chromosomal abnormality. And usually that abnormality is trisomy 21, I think it's at 21, which is a very severe abnormality that is not compatible to life. So that's kind of in my mind, and on top of that, I feel like I need an answer as to why these hormones didn't double. And when we went for the scan at 6 weeks, she said, you know, just forget about the hormones now. It's not relevant. You know, we've seen a heartbeat. That's what matters. The hormones don't matter now. Sometimes these things just happen, but that doesn't sit with me. Like, I feel like I need to know, well, why did this happen? There must be a reason. There has to be a reason. And I know sometimes there's not a reason for everything, but in my head's just saying there has to be a reason why this has happened. I have never had my hormones taken. I don't know if do slow rising hormones, do they change between different pregnancies? Do women generally have several pregnancies that have had slow rising hormones? I don't know. So therefore was it slow with the boys and I just didn't know because I didn't have it taken? I just don't know. There's all these things going on in my head, and you know, I feel like even if I go in tomorrow and I see a heartbeat and everything's measuring okay, I still don't feel like I'm out of danger kind of thing. I have decided to go ahead with genetic testing very early on, so I'll be having a blood test to check for any chromosomal abnormalities very early on, probably within the next couple of weeks, if all's okay tomorrow. Chris and I never did, all we did with the boys was the nuchal test, and that's where they measure like the nuchal thing at the back. We've never had any of the blood tests that they offer or any of that, because we've always been believers that no matter what happens, our baby is our baby. I feel so annoyed with myself for feeling this way. And what's really weird is I'm okay with it. It's not okay with it, but I'm like calm. I haven't cried about it yet. I feel like I've done my grieving, or we've been through such a long, difficult road that I just feel like, well, what will be will be. I can't change anything. We can't do anything to change what's going on. We just have to hope for the best. So Chris is convinced that everything's fine. I'm being silly. My mum is convinced the same. But I think that hormone thing just really threw me off. And there are people who I've read and people who follow me who've commented who have had this happen to them and they've gone on and had healthy babies. So that only happens actually in 15% of these cases, and quite often I feel like I am the rule, not the exception. So I don't know if that is going to be me. I hope so. What's really hard about this is the fact that I have seen a baby with a heartbeat, and that's what makes it all that bit more difficult now. It's not like before where we didn't, you know, we didn't see anything, so it didn't feel so much like there was anything to lose. But there is now. There's a life, a soul, a baby with a heartbeat. So that's the thing that makes me more sad if it were to happen. Yeah, my head is in a really weird place in terms of how I'm feeling. So another thing that was concerning me was the fact that whilst I was a bit nauseous, I wasn't really that nauseous. Like, I was really nauseous with Albert, and I can't really remember with Sebastian, but I remember with Albert I was worse. This time round, at the beginning, I really wasn't that bad. Around 6 weeks I got really quite nauseous, and that's why when I saw the heartbeat I was kind of convinced that, yeah, I was feeling really ill this week, so probably hormones had picked up. Had been taking B12 to try and help my progesterone, because B12 helps your progesterone levels apparently. So I'd been taking that, and apparently that helps morning sickness or helps nausea. So I wondered if I didn't feel very nauseous because I was taking the B12. So I stopped taking the B12, and I have to say these last 2 days I have felt really, really nauseous. Definitely more than usual, but it comes in bouts. So on an evening it can be really bad. On Tuesday I actually had to take myself to bed because thankfully the kids were in the childminder, because I did feel really like unwell. I was trying to do some stuff on my blog and I just couldn't. But one thing I do feel is really tired, so like just really sleepy, just wanting to sleep all the time, particularly in the day. Just very tired, developing a bit of a bump. So I don't know if it's bloating. It does feel like bloating, but it's definitely bigger than it was before. I'm not really eating a lot because I don't really know what I want to eat, but I know if I eat I'll feel a bit better. So it's, yeah, I don't know what I fancy. Gone off coffee as well, which is strange. Other than that, I can't really think of anything else. That's sort of just feeling, yeah, very tired. And a couple of days ago as well, I did notice, and we're literally talking like the size of my fingernail, if that, mixed in with, this is very TMI, with a bit of kind of mucus discharge. However, it was more mucousy, like the tiniest bit of blood, and it was literally, like I said, like half my fingernail. And that happened one day, and then it happened again the next day, a little bit more. I think it was more browny, so maybe old blood, maybe implantate, I don't know, but that did alarm me a little bit. But it hasn't happened since. Yeah, I have been getting cramping and stuff and a few pains and things. I'm just trying to do everything I can to like take my mind off it. And Downton Abbey worked really well for a while, but then I finished watching them all. I'll speak to you guys tomorrow. Bye.
Hi guys, so I look a bit of a state again, sorry. I just wanted to just again update you. So today's Thursday. I said to you last night that I was having a scan this morning, and everything was okay. Everything looks fine. So we have a little 8-week-old baby here. There we go again. So that's that. And there was a heartbeat, everything's measuring all fine. I think I've always measured like 1 day behind, that's it. I should be cautiously optimistic, she said. Obviously we don't know more until I get some genetic testing done. I really want to get excited, and it's just so hard when I've convinced myself, and I don't know why I've convinced myself. I'm wondering if it's because, I don't know if I mentioned this yesterday, but because of the shock of being pregnant, because I just didn't plan it, because a million thoughts ran through my head. You know, the fact that Albert is, I've always liked a close age gap. I've never wanted an age gap bigger than 2.5 years, and I'm noticing now, having Sebastian and Albert, that whilst it is very hard work, they are much closer. They've got interests that are quite similar. But at the same time, I've never really wanted like a really, really close age gap. Obviously, I remember Sebastian when he was 2 and he was like a baby. So I had always wanted to wait until Albert was at least 2 before we even thought about trying. Again, if we were going to have another one, it was something I wasn't sure if I wanted to do, even though Chris did. And just, yeah, a million thoughts went through my mind of just worry, and the car, that, you know, all these things were going through my head of panic and worry within seconds of taking this test. And I just felt like I couldn't see a baby in that time. I couldn't visualize a baby in January, because maybe it was the shock. Maybe that's what it was. I don't know. And then obviously this hormone thing happened, and I just feel like I need to have an answer as to why. She did say, she's like, we use hormones purely to see as a kind of guide to see if you are safe in the pregnancy if we haven't seen a yolk sac. So to make sure that you're not in a life-threatening situation, which is obviously an ectopic pregnancy. Because if they had seen a yolk sac in that first scan, then there wouldn't be a reason to have even taken my hormones. So, but it's just really thrown me off. It's been a really difficult few weeks. Fingers crossed. I really appreciate all your messages and all your support, and I really want to start getting excited, but I don't know. I just wish I had to go in and have I was in pain. I was rushed to hospital in an ambulance, so I had to get tested. But ultimately, part of me is thinking, oh, you know, I wish I never had those blooming hormones done, because then maybe I wouldn't be freaking out like I am now. And fingers crossed, everything's going to be okay. And I really hope it all goes okay. So I'm going to start. I've been really quiet on here. I'm really sorry. I've not been feeling great, as you can imagine, as well as the anxiety and as well as the fact it's half term. I've been really busy with the children, and I am really trying really hard with my blog as well. Definitely go and check out my blog. I'm going to be posting on there quite a lot. And if you do not already have the app called Blog Lovin' on your phone, definitely download it, type in my name and any other bloggers you want to follow, and you will be notified every time we post, and you can just click it and read. And I think blogs are a really nice thing to read anyway, like if you're on the bus or if you're like in bed and you don't want to wake up the children or the baby, whatever. I think it's nice to have something to read. Just playing it by ear at the moment. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you click like for this video. Make sure you subscribe if you're new to follow our journey, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.